Hello, and welcome to this cosy little tavern, nestled in a corner of House Jorasco, for what will be our level 8 episode of Purple Does Potions. Since hitting 6 and taking the very nice and fully meterable and very low cost Inflict Serious Wounds spell-like ability from the third core of the apothecary tree, we've been going from strength to strength, using that as the basis for our offensive bombardment, and doing very nicely. I think it's fair to say our fortunes have well and truly transformed since hitting that level 6. Um, I've been leading with the glue bomb and following immediately with that one, and usually throwing another AoE. I had been using the fire, you might recall. We've rejigged the gear somewhat, so I've got acid instead now. I'll go into that in a bit. When the glue bomb is on cooldown, because it does have a 10-second cooldown, is it? Yeah. But look at the duration, 23 seconds, during which they do, of course, get a save every 4 seconds. But it's against a strength check, and that could be fairly difficult for many opponents to pass. So we get to dispatch them at our leisure. Nothing's going to last even 4 or 5 seconds, I wouldn't think, trapped in there with the firepower we now have to bring to bear. So that's really, really good. While that is on cooldown, I've been using the Fine Dust as a sort of filler inner, which is always available, 2-second cooldown. Very nice, but you do have to be in close proximity to your targets to get that to work. But still, very good, and I can follow that up with the AoE that we have, which again, very short cooldown, 3 seconds, so that's always going to be available to us. Unlike the spell-like ability here, which is on a slightly longer cooldown. We've got a little bit more now in the bombardier tree, so we've got the third core which we had before. We've got a couple more of these extra critical chance, and we've fully decked out the third spell-like ability, which is electric. So we've got spell-like abilities in fire, acid and electric. Really useful, I've found, for dispatching single targets, heavy damage, and conserving spell points, which is the name of the game at this low level, I think. Especially as I've just realised there, I've just lost the item I was using, which was giving me 100 or so extra of said spell points. Also, I was going to go into, I've just realised this, I was going to go into the Hall of Heroes and get an intelligence augment, and I haven't done that, have I? So we're 5 down on where we should be on intelligence, so let's go and do that now while we are doing the waffle. If you didn't know, any gaps you've got in your gear, if you are flush with mysterious remnants, as you will be if you run on elite or higher, you've always got the option to go to the Monster Hunter Mysterious Remnant Collector in the Hall of Heroes in the marketplace, and collect an augment appropriate to your level. So we're looking for intelligence. It's giving us the options. Hover over it and you can see minimum level 8, which is our gear at the moment. We can get a diamond of intelligence 5. So I'm going to take that. It's going to end up in our augment bag. Drag it out of there. Now, unlike filigrees, you can just freely superimpose one over another, provided you're not bothered about keeping the one that is currently in. Currently there we've got a dex 5. Now dex is meaningless to us in this life because we have insightful reflexes, so our intelligence is helping our reflex save, so dex is pretty redundant. So we are going to go ahead and replace that with intelligence, throw that back on, and continue where we left off with a slightly different vantage point. So I was talking about yeah, so we have a decent intelligence there now. While I'm on that subject, it gets better with the everything to intelligence theme. As you might see here, not only has the reflex save gone up when I boosted the intelligence, but so too now has the will, because at level 8 we took as a Alchemist bonus feat, I think it's called Inspire Courage. So now wisdom is fairly redundant as well, if not completely, because instead of wisdom for will save, we've got intelligence for that too. So intelligence is doing both dex and will save, which from where I'm sitting is pretty awesome. And you're always going to have con as your second stat on any character, so your fortitude save should be reasonable anyhow. That was another choice, but it would have been ridiculous to go with that given that we're going to be boosting con anyway. Let's have a look then at the gear. Some changes here. It's a bit of a mishmash. We've put our favourite, if you've seen any at all of the purple caster lives, you'll see this item always gets chosen. The Sacrarium Suncatcher from the Isle of Dread could have been usable from 7, but I've knocked it back to 8 with the augment I have fitted there, the Sapphire of Snowpeak Speed. The reason I've done that is I wanted to slot that speed Sapphire into an item that I would use right the way to the cap, and this thing definitely qualifies. Profane Spell Focus 2 is abusively good at this level. It's the same 2 bonus that you get on the legendary, is it level 31 item in the Isle of Dread? So I rest my case on that. We've got Insightful Intelligence on there as well, so this is an insanely good item for our build. Profane Life Force as well, just awesome. That absolute must take for us at this level. What else have I done? I've added a Mysterious Cloak. Again, that is available from 7, but we've bumped it up to 8 with the augment we've got in there. The Sapphire of Heavy Fortification is minimum level 8. The positive healing amp stacks with other sources of healing amp because it's an exceptional one. So that's a really nice item to have. And it's now got our Intelligence 5 in there as well. 2 slots. Those cloaks and equivalent braces are available in level 7, 14 or 21 versions, and you can get them from the Mysterious Remnant Collector, but only on those special Champion Hunter weekends. The same time you can collect the Eternal Flasks of, among other things, Freedom of Movement, which is what I'm looking for purple. The reason we don't have a flask of Freedom of Movement for him to use is those are bound to character, whereas these other items are bound to account. So I've been able to swap them across for him to take advantage of. Got some Slave Lords gear in, notably the Spinneret, which is an awesome item for our current situation because the Spell Law 4 is giving 4% crit chance bonus on all spell schools, and given that we're kind of spread around all over the place at the moment, positive, negative, fire, electric, acid, and we would like to be reasonably good in all at the moment, that item is perfect for us. Plus the Quality Spell Focus Mastery 1, bonus to DCs, super stuff. And a bit of a bonus to spell power as well with the Quality Potency. I've added the next level up of the Hull hull melters mace. More insightful goodness there, which is very rare on the earlier level stuff before 10. At 10, just to reiterate, you can Kenneth craft insightful, but before then, insightful stuff is rare to come by. So we've got an insightful conjuration, which is perfect for us. Insightful corrosion for the acid. Insightful fort against critical hits, and acid lore is nice because we've got our caustic solvent, corrode weapons, it's just another acid attack, and our spell-like ability vial of acid. So yes, nice item there. Still got the Queen's Scepter, boosting all spell powers from the Fey items. The boots, I suppose, are somewhat redundant now because we were having them mainly for the speed, but the electric resistance and absorb is still nice. Dodge is still good. Sapphire of Heroism, redundant because we're casting Greater Heroism now. Some old gloves I dug out. Healing amp, which does stack with the healing amp exceptional from the cloak. So if we were to test, let's test. We've been getting sort of between 80 and 100, I think, from these. Oh, well done. Got to target yourself if you want to hit. So we're up nicely over the 100 now. Oh wow, and that's a crit, obviously. And that's just a fully meted Cure Light Wounds from the... It's a spell-like ability from the Apothecary tree, just there. So that's giving us 100 a time outside of Reaper and outside of combat. So that's not too shabby. What else have we got on here? Corrosion, acid spell power, that's nice for our build. Stunning and wisdom are obviously totally redundant here. They're relics of a previous incarnation. Topaz of fire resistance, not bad. Quality fort, stacking with everything else. This is our defensive item, so sheltering for PRR and MRR, resistance for saves, jump is nice to have. It's not a class skill for the Alchemist. You do get a spell to boost your jump and feather fall, but I haven't got that one at the moment. Another resistance one. Combustion, not bad. We do have a fire spell still. Spell sight. That's our. This is really our con item. I've used this in the past just for the con, so 6 con there. And we are getting a small bonus for having 3 Slave Lord bits equipped, so +1 artifact bonus to spell DCs. Not terrible. I think that's about it on the gear side. I upgraded the bracers, dodge and spell saves. Spell saves, if you didn't know, is an additional boost to saves. So if we look at these here that we've got, let's say we need to make a fortitude save that comes from a spell. We have 30 initial and we have 4 spell saves, so it would be a 34 that we would be using. It's an additional layer of defense against spells to boost your saves. As far as I'm aware, aside from named items, it's only available via Kenneth crafting. Is that right? I think it is. I've tended to Kenneth craft it when I've wanted spell saves on my gear. I know there are some named items with it, like the necklace in the Guardian of the Gate set, I think, from Shan. But it's a nice one to have, another nice layer of defense if you can get it. What else have we got? I think that more or less does it for the gear. So let's just see where we are numbers wise. So we're a bit low on the acid and cold resistance because we don't have any of that on the gear, but the sonic, fire and electric are decent, especially when you add in the elemental skin for an extra 5 bonus. They're in a pretty decent place. Saves are looking really good. Spells, I added... I swapped the Molotov for the caustic solvent for the acid, so we're more acid focused now. We've got 3 acid spells there. And we have a nice mix of red and yellow, gild leaf and crimsonite. You remember me explaining in an earlier episode about these reaction states. It's going to suit us to be more often in pyrite than anything else, the orange state. And the nice mix of red and orange, red and yellow that we've got, which will create orange without me really paying too much attention to it, is going to be helpful to us moving forward, I think. Spell powers and crits. Acid is in a good place there, over 200 now. Negative is a lot nicer than it was, so that's good for our inflict serious AoE, which we've been leaning heavily on. The negative crit chance is okay, not stellar, but okay. But the crit chance for acid is very good, 1 in 3 there, more or less. And the electric and fire, because we've got the spinneret helping those now, is up to a fairly decent level too, 1 in 4. So not too shabby. And the spell powers as well, somewhere between 150 and 200 for the relevant offensive ones. Positive as well is in a reasonable place there. So not too shabby overall, I think. And now I'm going to have to go back to Jorasco, or try to. I do the great heroism before going, because we do still only have a 70% chance to make that. I think I had a charisma item before, that's why the chance has got lower rather than higher as we've leveled up. So the one I had planned to try for this level is the Redwillows ruins. I think we've done this one before on this channel at this level. Actually, we have, haven't we? We did this last time around with the Tempest, and if I recall rightly, we got overwhelmed towards the end and almost died. So this will be a good opportunity to compare and contrast against this caster and see where we are on a similar level, see what we can do.
Monsters have trampled paths in twisting patterns through the lush jungle.
That's another spell I've added, augment armor, a bit more on the armor class and a bit more PRR, it says. Let's just see if that's true. Yeah, looks like it. Not too shabby. And I think that scales up with character level a little bit. So
5 haggard-looking halflings can be spied through the thick jungle foliage.
oh, press wrong key. I think somebody said once that you can just you can bind the conversational responses to a key, so you're always pressing the number 1 response every time. But I haven't got round to that yet, and I probably wouldn't be able to find how to do it either. Okay, let's remember our boosts. Let's demonstrate the extreme range we can attack from. So glue first, then the negative, then the acid. The last 2 are AoE, and look at that. I think everything died apart from the boss and the Reaper. Wow. And contrast that against the poor Tempest who came in here having to slash his way through all that. Okay. I suppose I've chosen, I haven't done it for that reason, but this quest certainly favours
Reeking
our
of rotting meat and roasting flesh. Goblinoids plays with
approach
freshly
here.
cooked
No
bones.
roofs for a start, so we can bombard from miles away. Boom. Oh, didn't see you there. But that's okay. We have the technology. Now he had evasion, he saved and took nothing. Now that is going to be a problem for us. Where are we at with the... So we've gone up actually quite significantly, haven't we? With that latest lot of gear. We've got a 34 now on the vile spell-like abilities. And a 36 there on the big one, the inflict serious AoE. In fact, on both AoEs we've got a 36. So that's pretty useful, I think, at this level. Another option at level 8, instead of the one to boost the will saves, I could have taken something giving an extra caster level to Crimsonite, which is many of our offensive spells, and the blue ones, the Cerulite. I thought about it, and then I decided to go for the saves one instead. Now the problem we've got here is all these beggars are very spread out, so I think we're going to have to bait them in a little bit and then hammer them. Wow, I didn't even have to cast the fire AoE. They were all gone from the first one. Impressive. Just refresh our little boost. So in Reaper mode we are well into the 200s with acid and going up towards there with some of the others as well. Now again we've got this issue with them being spread out, which I'm not hugely impressed with. However, we have the technologies. Now they're not spread out. Can I just target that one and just hammer them? I sent 2 damaging ones in there just in case, and I think that's hammered the lot. Beautiful. Death from distance, can't beat it. Let's try the same with that lot. So we're freezing them in place first with the glue and then just hammering them with the 2 AoEs. And anything that comes out we mop up with the single target spell-like abilities, fully meted.
You have recovered all of the lost items Redwillow described. Return them to
Oh, hello.
Redwillow's camp.
Yeah, now that's a problem. That's 3 saves he made there. 3 reflex saves. And took no damage. So evasion opponents are going to be a problem for us unless we can find ways to push our DCs up higher. Just retrace the steps back to the camp. I better refresh the buffs before we go in towards the end, I think.
to their caretakers. Inform Redwillow of your success. Redwillow has opened a gate that leads to the culprit behind this invasion, a hill giant named Bombard.
Okay, so far so good. Let's hope the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Redwillow's gateway deposits you into the center of a long.
Now again, we need to make a nice big group out of these. And that looks pretty good. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Oh, hello. So it's not exactly lightning fast, because neither the glue nor the spell-like ability that we follow with, nor indeed the caustic solvent, are quickened, because I just can't afford it in terms of mana at the moment. But we make up for that with the devastating effect the things have. Just look at that. So we definitely do better when the opponents are
Well fortified and guarded.
in a nice tight group against us. Hopefully we can kind of engineer that here.
Defeat this foe.
And then just pick off the little bits as we can with again, criminally underusing the boosts,
He has struck a deadly blow. His
but
whole
still
goblin tribe is shattered.
contrast that with what happened with our Tempest last life when we came in here, and I think you will all agree, if you saw that one, that this iteration we are just sailing along, aren't we? I think you could probably say it would be similar for most, if not any caster, maybe with the possible exception of the druid. I don't know when the druid gets the flame strike. Would they have a flame strike by now at level 8? I'm not sure, but I know they're quite a bit more single target than most for longer before they get going in the leveling process. All that being said, I am more than happy with how things are going here, and it's fair to say as well about the comparison with the melee. We were comparing against a single target melee build as it was at that point, so we were going to have issues there anyway. The ones we've got to come, the likes of paladin, barbarian, fighter, rogue, those are all going to be strike through builds, so I would hope that we will fare somewhat better in the early game in particular than we did with the Tempest. Okay, I think that about wraps it up for this one. Thank you very much as always for looking, and I will speak to you in the next one. Take care.